1 second, please. Okay. Okay. Now we could start.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. We are working together today in the hybrid form. So students are in a room in our main library on the campus with Justyna Franz-Dąbrowska, and we have a great pleasure to meet online our distinguished professors. So Professor Maria Antonietta Fiore from University of Foggia, Italy, and Professor Antonino Galati from University of Palermo, also Italy. Before I will leave the floor to our distinguished guest, I would like to introduce a little bit our guest to our PhD students and our other guests of this event. Probably some of our students already met in person and also online our guest professors. As Professor Maria Antonietta Fiore and Professor Antonino Galati, they are members of the scientific board of the doctoral school at our university, and they contributed significantly providing the course academic writing for a couple of years up to this year. So Professor Fiore, she is a full professor in agricultural economics at the Department of Economics, as I said, at the University of Foggia. She acts as director's delegate for international affairs and representative of international affairs at the Department of Economics. She also has some experience in the Italian ministries, like Ministry of Agriculture and Food and Ministry of Environment, Land and Sea. And she has enormous experience in research and teaching. She was a coordinator of a couple of educational and also scientific project co-financed by European Union funds. She took part in many international conferences as a keynote speaker, presenter, as a discutant, and she gained some awards and fellowships for these activities. She acts actively in the International Food and Agribusiness Management Association and now is a member of the IFAMA Europe chapter. So that's really a few words. I'm not able to summarize all these wide activities of our Professor Fiore, but she is always full of ideas, energy, and other things to push forward our teaching and scientific activities. And for this, we would like to thank you even at this moment very much. And I'm also very glad to welcome Professor Antonino Galati, who is a full professor of agriculture, economics and valuation at the Department of Agricultural, Food and Forest Sciences at the University of Palermo. He does research in agricultural economics, food science and business economics. He acted as invited speaker and a member of scientific committees of many conferences. He was awarded for chairing sessions and as an outstanding reviewer. He is a member of the editorial boards of a number of scientific journals and author and co-author of many papers highly cited by other researchers. So I hope that all guests gathered with Justyna in our main library with Professor Franz-Dąbrowska, you can see that we really can be very proud to have such guests, such professors who agreed to present their scientific achievements and who agreed also to share their knowledge with our PhD students. So as I said before, thank you very much for being with us, and now I can leave the floor for you. Please enjoy.
Thank you so much for these wonderful words about us. I am speaking on behalf of Nino too, and your presentation was really important. Maybe we are a little bit important, Nino. I think no. So your words, your presentation was wonderful. But
thank you very much.
yes, thank you so very much, and thank you for the organization. So I would like to thank, on behalf of Nino too, Professoressa Drieska, Professoressa Frank Dabrowska, and also Alexandra. Please, I don't remember the surname, but thank you so much for all these great organization. But also thank you to the students that are there. We are not able to see them, but we have a great imagination, and so we will think about them as smart students, and so the future, our future, and the future of research. Okay, so if I can, I'm going to share the screen, hoping that all will work in a good way. One moment, please. You can see, maybe? Yes?
Online,
yes.
yes.
Yes, Lilla.
Yes. Oh, perfetto. Perfect. Again, good afternoon. Dzień dobry, witamy studenti. I'm trying always to study step by step the Polish language, because I find the Polish language so interesting, because it's really different from our sound, as Justina and as Nina always said. But for this reason, I find Polish language really interesting to be to know, and so I hope that in the future, and I hope that when we will meet in the same place, Nina and Justina, I will demonstrate my step-by-step learning of Polish language. So today we have this interesting workshop for the students, and I hope that this workshop can be interesting to all the students, but I hope that this workshop can open some new paths, some new ideas, and so can create a sort of open-minded approach. This is the agenda of this workshop. We will start with the 3 key points of academic writing, the components of a scientific article, but the question is in our mind, but all the mind of the students and of the professor and so on, how to write a appealing, interesting, very clear title and academic abstract of a scientific paper, and what is the main strategies to write also the specific, detailed, clear keywords, and then what about the meaning maybe of a graphical abstract, or which are the scientific paper components. But we will try to conclude this workshop by giving a concrete example by using a paper of us, where me and Professor Galati are co-authors. And so we will try to split the main parts of this paper that received a lot of citation than the time and that the paper was born. So I hope that this last part can be the main, in some way, the main section of this workshop that can open a new path of writing, of an academic writing. But often my question is to the students this one, and unfortunately I can watch the eyes of the students, or also the smiles, or also if the students are getting boring. But the question is, what is the main goal that we have to reach when we are writing an academic output? Please, guys, the crucial point is to try to write in a clear way in order to help the reader's understanding. Clearly not a normal reader, but clearly a scientific PhD students, researchers, readers. So this is our key point in our mind, in our minds. But the second crucial point is and must be to be critical, because it's necessary that if you are writing a paper, I guess that you are trying to open a new path. Yeah, I think that it's this is the starting point. So, guys, the difference and the starting point of your academic writing is putting in our mind our ideas, but keeping in mind your critical thinking about your topic, okay? Because it's necessary to open again. I highlight this characteristic is necessary to open new paths, to give new insights. So it's necessary to be critical. But guys, generally, when you will finish the PhD course, or maybe also during the PhD course school, you for sure will write your paper not alone, but maybe, I hope, with your supervisor, with other colleagues, and so. So it's necessary, guys, studenti, in Polish, studenci, being good in planning your research. Planning research means also being good in brainstorming research. Pay attention, please, guys. Brainstorming does not mean just storm of brains, because usually students or people think about this simple meaning of brainstorming. Brainstorming means tackling the problem, so solving a problem, so writing in an academic way to try to tackle a problem. So this is important. And for doing this, for reaching this goal, it's necessary to open a discussion with your co-authors. You speak about speak about the different perspectives, the different approaches, and the final goal that you want to reach. So it's necessary planning research. It's necessary to open a comparison between your ideas, the ideas of from you and from your colleagues' perspectives, and so write your academic proposal or your first academic abstract, but also thinking the future of this academic writing. For example, this academic writing will be for a conference, for international conference, for presenting my PhD thesis, for national, and so on. So it's necessary to address from the beginning your academic writing process. I know and I hope and I guess that you will know very well this structure, but as Professor Drieska has highlighted yesterday, that maybe someone is new, is at first here, so it's necessary to summarize the key points. So it's necessary, guys, that you can follow the IAM-RAD structure. I am reading as using Italian language, but as you can see here, D structure. And what about this structure? First of all, writing an appealing abstract, not just clear, not just following the key points of an abstract, but also, guys, an appealing abstract that can catch the attention of the readers, of your readers, specific readers in your specific topics. We have introduction, and then we have materials and methods, results, and discussion. What is my suggestion, guys? My suggestion is copy this slide, for example, and this structure, pasting this structure of your file, Word file, and step by step trying to reply this question. For example, you can pass the abstract, and then we have the chance to explain better the abstract, but you have to put close to the word introduction, why did you do the study, and close to materials and the methods title, what did you do, what did you find, and what does this suggestion from my perspective is good because you can have your academic writing clearer because you have to reply this question. So, guys, please accept my suggestion. This is a strange this quotation that highlights in some way the difficulty and of writing, because writing is not easy, as you can read, is not easy. Writing is tricky, and writing is can in some way take a lot of time if you want to be good in writing a specific, detailed, clear academic paper. Okay, so this is a sort of it's necessary to use always cartoon or videos and so on, because we are in the era of the digital native. You are digital natives, and so you have to experience during a lesson different way of learn, face to face or online, or by using of a cartoon or so on. Here in this figure, cartoon, like a cartoon, you have to imagine you and a colleague of yours to think about all the process. So this means that it's necessary that you can follow specific requirements. You can use specific words in order to write a specific scientific academic writing, but always being critical. Okay. But if you can be, if you are able to be critical, is because you have seen further by standing on the shoulders of giants. And so this is the soul of research. And this is a famous quotation by Newton, Isaac Newton. And the idea is that you can open new research paths just if you can, if you are starting from previous research, from previous sources, and from previous giants. So please, this means also that you have to be careful about also the references steps. But when it's necessary to write an abstract, you know this, and so it's necessary to write a good abstract when you have to submit a proposal or you have to submit an article. And also it's really important, guys, I would like now to focus on the third point, that it is application for research grants. So if you are good, guys, in writing a good abstract, this is a wonderful way to write in the future. Also, if you are applying, you are attending a research grant. So if you are applying, for example, a call from Horizon Europe or from Erasmus Plus and so on. So the abstract and writing a good abstract is the crucial main point that you have to have in your mind, and you have to experience, and you have to download a lot of papers just reading the abstract. Clearly, my suggestion is to download the best abstracts related to the high cited papers all over the world, clearly in your topic. So writing an abstract is useful for selection, for indexing scopes and purposes, clearly. And I repeat that is necessary to try and catch the attention of scientific readers. But guys, as you know, we have a lot of different kind of abstract. But for example, we have an abstract also of your life. So the abstract that you can call bio notes. So for this reason, it's really important to be good in summarizing the key point of your life. If you are writing your bio notes or your short summary, but also if you are writing an abstract related to an application of a proposal of Horizon Erasmus Plus proposal. So guys, it's really important to be good in writing your abstract. That can be descriptive if you are just writing short 100 words of abstract. So this is a sort of outline of your work. For example, when you are presenting a short link in a meeting, for example, your work or your PhD thesis, but also informative when it's important to present your abstract, for example, in a conference, also in a scientific meeting in your department. Guys, the title. Nowadays, the title is really important, is really significant, and is necessary to not to save time. So it's necessary to take a lot of time in writing your title, because the title more and more must be appealing. For example, me and Professor Galati, Nino, do you remember? I hope we wrote a strange title regarding Nino, plastic or no plastic. That's the problem. Nino,
This
do you
is the
remember?
dilemma.
Yes. So guys, this is the dilemma, and so it's necessary to create a sort of curiosity, not just attention, but curiosity, because if I am a reader and I am reading your abstract, I have to open new path in the mind of readers, and so in special way, curiosity. So plastic or no plastic, or another last title, Nino, was about...
Yes, for the plastic or non-plastic, was a paper on the people or younger people intention to buy bio bottle. Then this is the dilemma, plastic or non-plastic. Yes, I remember.
And maybe this paper maybe is not so good. I'm joking, but this paper received a lot of citation. It's really it's true Nino?
Yes.
That yes,
Language seated. Yes, yes.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes. Maybe because just the title was the first the first point of attention. So guys, please try to write not as in the past boring title. No, no, guys, because nowadays always more and more it's good to try and write appealing also creative title. Okay, so another strange title, Nino, is the title for the proposal regarding the special issue on tourist. Do you remember where there is a mark, the famous mark, and the title? Yes, the title is a fil rouge there between wine, touristic, and GDP. Strange because you are trying to mix Italian language and the French language because fil rouge means red line. So this is another perspective to write appealing title. Try to merge Italian language and the Latin language, for example, in our case, in Italy, Spain, and Greece, for example, or Italy and other Polish and English. So, guys, try to write an interesting title because, as written by Jankelowitz, titles are best written with the brandy after dinner. So you have to get crazy in that moment, just to write a wonderful title. So, summarizing, the title must be concise, informative, precise, must contain keywords that can summarize the contents of the work, and also you have to pay attention to the maximum words that the journal. Some question? Or not? No? Okay. I can continue? Yes. Nino? Giustina?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, please continue.
Okay, ho sentito some words. Okay, so it's necessary to try to reduce the length and to focus on interesting key point of your article by trying to include all the key points. Summarizing, it's necessary to write your wonderful, interesting scientific title, but also nowadays is necessary to try also to write the running head, because nowadays and in the last maybe 5 or last decades, journals, journals often ask for also the running head that in general is printed as heading at the top of each page. And so in this running head title, you have to catch more and more and the curiosity of readers. So I can, for example, predicting consumer healthy choices. And so this is a good example to catch the attention and to put in this running head title the key point. So consumer is the first key point, choices because we are speaking about choices and we are speaking about health. So it's good to also add, if it's requested by the journals, also is good in writing the running head. What about the abstract? Okay, here there is another cartoon because you can imagine yourself to think about your topic, to think about the main strategies in writing your paper. But for being good and scientific in writing your paper, you have to think about the function. The function is clearly say what you are talking about, guys. And please, guys, waste time writing your paper because the abstract will be the first section that the editor, the reviewers, and in the future, I hope the readers will pay attention, guys. So the abstract is one of the most consulted parts of an article and is often the only section to be read. Please, guys, try to write in keeping attention when you are writing your abstract. So please, brevity, 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 no long, and so you have to follow the guidelines of the journal that you selected. Always use the active form. Do not expect in first person, please. Often I reject the papers just reading the abstract that are not accurate and that are expressed not in professional way, but like newspaper way, for example. And so reading reading an abstract, you can soon understand if there is science or not science in that paper, okay? And there is background or not background in writing in that paper. So what about the question? Please, another suggestion is put this question in your new file Word and try to reply these 5 questions, and then clearly when you replied the question, clearly eliminate this question, and so you will have your wonderful abstract. So you have to start undertaking the research, why you are took the research, and what have you studied, with what methods, what can be the results, what not can be, but what are the results that you achieved, and how do you interpret them, okay? But I am giving the floor in 2 slides to my colleague, one of my favorite colleagues, because here we have Professor Galanti, Professor Diesca, Professor Frank Trabrosca. And so, guys, pay attention, please. The abstract must not contain additional data, graphics, references to graphics, description of the experiments, and references to literature, okay? But, and so this is my last slide. Please, guys, pay attention to this. There is a huge difference between when you are writing the paper and when you will read the paper, because here in the first section you can have a look at the order of writing. So you have to start from materials and the methods, because you must have data, you must have in mind materials, methods, and collection data, and statistical econometrics laboratory analysis. So you have to start from materials and the methods section, and then you have to discuss your results, describe results, and then discuss your results, conclusion, introduction, and at the end of this process you have to try to write interesting, creative, appealing title and a clear scientific abstract. Indeed, when you will read the papers, the order is totally different, as you can see. So please, when you are starting your academic writing, start from materials and methods section, and then results, the discussion, blah, blah, blah. So, Nino, the floor is yours if you want. Anyway, I can continue. Up to you, Nino.
Thank you very much. Lilla, can you change the slide, please?
Yes,
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, I will be your assistant. I hope that in this role you will be. Yes, you'll be happy. Please.
Thank you so much, guys.
I have to skip. I have to skip. Do you want to start with?
Yes, if you can change the slide. Thank you very much. At this point, guys, we will analyze in deep the construction of the abstract. In particular, we can identify two different types, two different structures of the abstract, structured and unstructured or non-structured abstract. The choice of which type of the structure is closely related to the journal. In general, in the journal guideline, you can the journal ask a specific abstract, but independently to the structure, to the type of abstract, there are some salient elements, information that can be contained in the abstract, related to the general background, a few lines, the purpose of the paper, the main, the objective of the, the objective, the methodology. Do you learn me? Yes?
Yes, Nino.
Yes, sorry, because I received a call. The goal, the objective of the paper, the methodology used, the main findings in few lines, the most important findings of your work, of your study, and finally, the conclusion, the main conclusion and contribution of your paper, because it is important that your paper have implication on not only on the theoretical point of view. In general, your study contributes to enrich the literature on a specific field, but also on the practical or on the policy implication of that are very important. For most scientific journals, as you can see in this slide, the length of the abstract is about 300 words. In this slide, I show. Sorry, yes.
Yes, you can see in the paper on the left side all the team, because there is Professor Galati, but there is me, and also last but not least there is Professor Griesca. Sorry, I am joking.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Maria Antonietta. In this slide, I show two examples of structured and unstructured abstract. In the left, you have this paper in which Professor Driesca is our co-authors in this paper on the stakeholder involvement in establishing sustainable business model, the case of Polish dairy cooperative, in which you can see that a structural abstract in which we have the purpose, the objective of the paper, the methodological approach used, the finding, and in particular the originality of your work, of your study, the study, and then the keywords that are very important for the study. On the right, you have a second paper, very Professor Fiore introduced this paper, Plastic or Non-Plastic. This is a study on the Italian student intention to pay for eco-friendly packaging in the bottled water. And this is, in this case, we have a non-structured abstract in which we emphasize the background, then the scope, the purpose of our paper, the methodology used, the fuzzy cluster analysis, and then the conclusion and contribution. Lila, can you split the slide? Thank you. Next slide, please. Lila, sorry.
Okay, I am skipping.
Yes, thank you.
This is good, or do you want?
Yes. Okay, in the previous slide, Lila, please. Okay, thank you. Of course, the abstract must be accurate because in the abstract, as Professor Fiore emphasized in the previous presentation, in the abstract, the reader have to pay attention to the consistency, the level of information contained in the abstract. The brevity of the abstract is one of the main characteristics, but in the abstract should be dense with information, focused mainly on the motivation and, of course, on the conclusion. Then in the abstract, there are some information that the reader found in the introduction section, but also in the conclusion section. The next slide, please, Lilla. Maria Antonietta. Thank you very much. And in the abstract submission, pay attention. For example, the abstract must be prepared for different purposes, for your scientific article, but also in some conference ask for example, for a long abstract. Then in relation to the purpose of this abstract, we have a length, of course, of more or less information. Then we have a different type of abstract in relation to the type of the submission, the scope of our submission. In particular, for the abstract that we'll send to conference, conference vary in size, but also in the topic presented during the conference. Then please try to stay within the right ballpark. The next slide, Lilla, please. The next.
Sorry, one moment, please, because the remote.
On the contrary.
Yes, because the remote control. Yes, now. Okay, maybe
of
this
course,
one or this one. What do you prefer?
The previous. Sorry. For example, in the abstract, we have a different type of information in relation to the type of work. In a report of an empirical study, the abstract describe the problem under investigation is the research problem. The participant, the survey, the company involved, the participant in terms of age, sex, ethnic, racial group, the essential feature of the study methods, then the methodology approach used. In the next slide, we can explain in deep the role of the methodology and which information we can introduce in the methodology section. The description of the interesting results of the study, the main findings, and of course the conclusion. But in the meta-analysis, for example, the next slide, on the contrary, in the meta-analysis, for example, the abstract should describe the problem under investigation, the eligibility criteria, the type of participant included in the primary study, the conclusion, and the implication. As you know, independently, if the abstract is structured on structured or non-structured, we have the same information: the background, the scope of the study, the methodological approach, the research finding, the conclusion, implication, and contribution of your paper. The next slide, please, Maria Antonietta.
This one, because I change, but maybe
yes,
you can this one.
In this case, because there are, I don't know how many time we have, because 10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay,
Maybe
okay,
yes.
okay.
Yes, yes.
Sobriesca, yes.
Yes.
Yes, 10
Okay.
minutes,
Then
please.
the next slide, for example, in the abstract of a methodological paper shall describe the general class of methods discussed, the essential feature of the proposed method, the range and of application of the proposed method, and in the case of the statistical procedure, some of the feature, such as robustness of the method used.
This is about a case study?
Yes,
Can
in
you
the case
see? Can you
study,
see? Okay.
yes, in the case study, we can introduce the subject, of course, the background, the scope of the study, the relevant characteristic of individual, group, or community. For example, the case study is largely used as a methodological approach in order to analyze a new phenomenon. For example, in the paper that I would like to present, that this is a paper that I write with Professor Fiore and other colleagues, Italian and foreign colleagues, we analyzed the blockchain technology used in the wine industry. The blockchain technology is a novel technology. Then this is a new phenomenon. And we investigated this phenomenon by using the case study approach. Then in the abstract, we can identify some of the key elements of the case study approach used. The keywords are very important. In this slide, you can see the definition used by the Springer, but in general, keywords typical allow reader to judge whether or not an article contains relevant information for the work, for their interest. Provide readers with suitable terms to use in the well-based research to locate other material on the same or similar topic. And help, of course, editors, indexers to group together related materials. Remember, Professor Fiore introduced in the previous slide the title of the paper. Remember not to use the same word as in the title. The keywords are words different from the title, the words included in the title. This is very important. Okay, Professor Fiore, the graphical abstract. Yes.
Yes, Nino, maybe you
Yes.
can skip something so you can focus on our paper. What do you think about? Because we have 5 minutes missing.
5 minutes, yes. Just a few words about the graphical abstract, because some journal sometimes require the graphical abstract. What is the graphical abstract? Is an image that represent the primary findings of your work and appear in general in the online version of your article, published article of the article. Okay, now I would like show, there is in this slide 2 example of graphical abstract used in some scientific paper, but yes, the abstract, the distinctive characteristic of the abstract is the autonomy. The goal of the draft of an abstract will therefore be achieved when a concept text have been prepared. This text must be exhaustive and meaningful and certainly mode. Independent of the text, it's summarized. Okay. The next part of this presentation, I will now illustrate a scientific paper by point out which element must be included in each part of the different section of the scientific article. This is a paper on the blockchain technology used in the wine industry by using as a theoretical framework the research-based view theory. For example, in this case, this is the European Business Review, the journal in this specific case asked for a structured abstract. You can see in the first part of this slide, describing in each of these subsections purpose, design, methodology, approach, finding, research, limitation, implication, practical implication, and originality and value of the study, the contribution of the study. Then the introduction. The introduction in general, also as an editor of a journal, scientific journal, in general, I pay a lot of attention, of course, in the abstract in relation to their consistency with the aim of the journal, but also in the introduction and the conclusion section of the paper. But in particular in the introduction. Why? Because the introduction answers the question, why was this study done? In general, the introduction clarifies the motivation for the works and prepare the reader for the structure of the paper. This is in the last part of the introduction. In the introduction section, state the motivation for the work. There are 5 components. In the first part, you have to introduce the main topic, the research background, the general context, also based on the previous findings, but also give the second components is a summary of the previous research. In your field, in this case, in the blockchain technology in the wine industry, what are the main findings? What studies previous academics, previous scientists? Based on this analysis of the previous study in this research field, you have to identify the research gap and the research question. In the next slide, okay, identify a clear research gap and then the research question. Research question, for example, in this case, we identified 2 research questions: which internal resource and capability do wineries need to adopt blockchain effectively, and how can a tangible asset such as the blockchain influence the development of specific competencies and the creation of a competitive advantage. But also in the introduction, we have to identify in a clear way the aim of the study and the paper, in a very shortly, the contribution of the paper. And finally, the structure, if in the journal is required, the journal asked also to introduce in the part of the introduction the structure of the paper. Then we have the method. Sorry, Maria Antonietta. Sorry. Okay. Then the methodology. The methodology answers to another question. Oh, the study.
Can you see Nino? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful.
Yes, Lila. The second, the methodology section, the methodological approach of the paper answer to this question: how the study was done. The methodology is the most important part, of course, and as Professor Fiore introduced in the previous slide, this is the first part of your academic scientific work. You start with the materials and methods. Most materials and methods section are boring to read. And for this way, to make this section interesting, appealing, you have to explain in a clear way the choice you made in your procedures. But this is a case study approach. Then in the research approach, we explained the case study approach, emphasizing the main limitation, for example, of this approach, but also the strength of this approach in order to explore a new phenomenon. But also in the methodology, you have to explain the data collection and analysis. Data collection is related, for example, for students, biology students, related to the laboratory activity, laboratory procedures. For other students, for example, students of management, data collection, or like in this case, can be the case study, then using interview, then primary source or secondary source, and secondary source as agree literature. Then you have to explain in a clear way what are the main contents, the main procedures used in the methodology approach. For example, explaining, or for example, introducing also an appendix with the questionnaire that you used, and emphasizing the key elements, what are the information you collected from the interview. Then the next section is the results and discussion. This section answers the question, what did the study find? Results and discussion section are best combined because results make little sense to most reader without interpretation. And results must be clearly presented, but also clearly discussed. You have to explain the results, explain any problem with the data collection, mention figure and table in the results, for example, in study in which you have experiment or you use the econometric models, compare. This is the most important part of the discussion. Compare your findings with the previous empirical study and what is the meaning of the results. It's important that in the results discussion there is your contribution in terms of data interpretation. And finally, the last part is of course, the conclusion. For example, in this article, we have the last section is conclusion, implication, and future research. Because in the last section, you have to summarize the main findings. Then you have to state the most important outcome of your work and try to interpret your findings. But it is also important to include in this part the implication of your study. The implication not only on the theoretical. Yes.
Okay.
You hear me?
There was yes. Okay, don't worry. Now it's good. The sounding.
Okay, sorry. For example, in this study, we used as the theoretical approach of the resource-based view theory. Then we, in this part of in the last part of the manuscript, we emphasized if our results support this theory or not. In this case, of course, our findings support the resource-based view theory, but also is very important to emphasize the practical implication of your study. Then identify the main limitation of the study And based on your limitation, on this limitation related, for example, of the in a survey, the number of interview carried out or the number of experiment, if we have a limited, if you study the consumer behavior, you have a very small sample with 200, 300 people. Of course, this is a limitation. You have to explain this limitation in the study, and based on this limitation, you have to identify the future research direction. Okay, the next slide. I don't know if Lila, but this is the next slide. And I would like to thank you for this opportunity. Thank you. I don't know, where is Maria Antonietta, Professor Fiore?
Here. Yes, I am here. Yes. And have a gun will travel, have research will travel. Okay, it's nice. If you can see this last slide. Dziękuję bardzo. Thank you so much, very much.
Thank you to everybody.
And I hope that my assistant rule and my assistant, yes, was good. In the future, you can.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Do you want in the future as your assistant?
Always.
Okay. So, okay. Any question? Maybe I don't know. Any question from the audience, the students?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes. Professor Franz Dąbrowska should be on site.
Yes, we have a question, please. One moment.
Hello, thank you for your presentations. I have a question concerning language and using the word we or I and using the passive voice. So what's your view on saying we conducted the research, we did this, in comparison to the study was conducted? Because what I usually hear at my faculty is that it's more professional to use the passive voice, so to say the study was conducted or the participants were divided and so on. Thank you.
Thank you for this question. Professor Fiore, if you want, I can reply to this question.
Non ho capito molto bene.
Yes.
Sorry. For the difference, between, because I lost the connection 1, 2 seconds.
Yes, the question is use I, we in the academic writing.
Yes. Okay.
In my opinion, the best solution is use the third person. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Your name, the name of the student?
Sophia.
So you in the future you will have the opportunity to read a lot of papers that you will use I or we. Okay, but in our experience and with our background, and if you have the chance to read a lot of books regarding academic writing, professional academic writing, the idea is
recommendation.
Eliminating I or we, because it's not professional in the reader's mind. So it's better is professional and not personal, because in some way, in my mind, if you write I and we, it appears as a sentence not good for all, but just for you and for the authors that wrote with you, because I and we. But if you are writing in personal way, it looks like, it seems as your sentences, your paper and your results is good for research in general. Maybe this is my explanation, my personal explanation, yes, because is recommended in this way.
Okay, thank you. So what you're saying is actually what professors at our university say. So thanks.
Okay, have a good research future, Sophia.
Thank you.
Have a
Grazie.
good research tutor, Sofia.
Grazie.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And we have a next question.
Okay, thank you. Hello, my name is Sylvia, and I have
Another Sofia.
Yeah.
Another Sofia.
Sylvia.
Good.
I have a
Okay.
question. Maybe this question addressed to Professor Galati, because I
Yes.
noticed that in the end of your delivery material, you mentioned that for the consumer studies, maybe the sample size 200, 300 is the small sample size, so it will be the barrier. My question is, maybe it's more technical about the method, because I'm from the consumer science, and how many sample size that ideal to submit to the top journal? Maybe I mean, like, sometimes it's difficult if we have the specific respondent. For example, family, and then young family, underage, and then we have like purposive several criteria. So how many sample size that ideal for the consumer studies?
Good question.
Okay.
It depends
thank you
on,
for-
please, Nino,
Yes,
after you, but it depends on, is the starting reply.
Thank you for your question. Yes, why my idea is 200, 300 respondents are a very small sample, because it's impossible in this case generalize the findings, generalize the results. The minimum number depends on the type of sample used. In general, it's important to have a sample representative of the population in terms of age, in terms of sex, in terms of level of education, in terms of occupation. Then is important that also in the snowball sampling you have the representativeness of the population you study. Then I think that in the customer study, it's important to have 400, 500 consumer or more, of course, in order to obtain more consistent data and more generalized data.
So it depends on the topic, it depends on the population, general population, it depends on.
Yeah.
But
yes.
It's good to increase
the number of...
yes.
Yeah, because it's just saying in Indonesia we have barriers like we don't have enough like survey organization. I mean, like, if we want to take huge number of respondents, it's difficult. So the first thing, some of researchers to do face-to-face survey. Yeah, it's one of the problem that happen in the field in Indonesia. Maybe for the Australian, maybe they have like a survey organization, so it will be helpful for the researcher. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. But also in Italy we have the same problem to obtain a representative sample. For this reason, frequently we use the snowball sample, for example, using questionnaire in the social platform, Facebook, Instagram. But also in this case, it is important to obtain the representativeness of the population in order to obtain more consistent data. This is my opinion, but also opinion of some reviewers that review our paper that use snowball sampling methods.
So I can add that if you want and if you cannot increase the number of your sample, you have to justify always why you used just a little sample, because you can justify saying that it was difficult, for example, during the COVID. So so we used this kind of sampling. So if you don't have a big sample, you have at least to justify why you was not able to reach a good sample. But another last thing about this important issue is that when you read, guys, famous paper in prestigious journals, pay attention, please. Maybe these authors had funds to use, for example, CATI methods, for funds, for example, from a project, or funds from the nation, from the government, and so on, to implement by means of external, for example, agency. And so for this reason, their paper is wonderful, but just because they have a lot of funds to be spent, and so can use agency, external agency, or they can use prestigious database or data set, for example, that have a big, huge cost in general. So depends on also from the possibility, as in the life, because not all we have the same opportunities, as said by Amartya Sen, that is a Nobel Prize award 3 decades ago. Unfortunately, it depends on our opportunities, on our possibility of selecting, of choosing, because not all of us can choose and can use the favorite solution in in their mind. It depends on. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Professor Fiore, Professor Galati. Question? Okay, come on. I'm sorry. I don't see. Okay.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Abuzar. I have a question regarding the citations. So what is your opinions how we can increase the citations? Because some people cite those scientists which already have much citations, and their papers got very high citations. So what are your suggestions and opinions about it? Thank you.
Okay, Nina, do you have? I have an idea. Do you have an idea? Or
Me too. I don't know. It's the same idea, but if you want, my idea is that you can increase your citation writing very high quality papers. In this way, you have the opportunity to that other people, other scientists, other academics read your paper. This is important to write very, very high quality paper. This is my opinion.
Okay.
And also in high quality journals, of course. Avoiding, for example, predatory journals.
No, wonderful. Okay. I have another perspective, guys, because I know that you are young. I know that you are just born. So I have another perspective, maybe not too much professional, but I want to share this my opinion. So, guys, in my opinion, it's necessary to write not just high quality papers, but also to try to write medium, low profile papers, because you are at the beginning of your future. So you can write, for example, so if you don't have good results, you can anyway try to write your paper and try to publish this paper in journal, not high profile, but medium low profile, and also open access. Predatory journals are no good, but can be good to increase your general citations number. So my idea is clearly, step by step, trying to be good, very good in writing your paper. But on the other perspective, you are young, so you will not be good suddenly, but you will be good step by step during your years. And so please think about you as a good researcher. So don't lose your patience and your esteem about yourself, because you can also write low, medium profile papers at the beginning, and step by step you will be wonderful, yes, and very good. And also you can use not predatory, but you can use that journals, those journals that are faster in publish your paper, that are open access. And so in this way you can increase your total citation number. But the perspective from Nino is professional and is the future. But you can use also my personal, just for helping you, suggestion. Okay. Okay.
Okay, Nino, do you like tell?
Yes, I agree, of course. This is a younger PhD students. Then step by step, they can improve the quality of your paper, yes, the quality of your research, and the quality of publication.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
It's always a space to improve at any stage of age.
But also, me, Professor Fiore, Professor Diesca, Professor Zabrowska can improve. We improve every day, of course.
I can help you. We can help you as you have some problems, some doubts.
Yes, absolutely,
so
yes.
Please, not be shy regarding asking your supervisors or your colleagues or your. No, please, not be shy. Okay.
Okay. Nina, maybe do you like tell about context this information or no?
Maybe about general. One remark came to my mind during this discussion, that also young generation are great in communication in different media channels, and sometimes if you dear young PhD students, if you build your networks and you are present on different portals as ResearchGate, as LinkedIn, so I think that it is useful to follow the works of experts in your area, to know, to be updated about the new publications. But this can be also the way to somehow communicate the results of your work and the recent publication you already achieved. So maybe this way, this group of channels can be also quite interesting and quite useful. I can see that starting the topic, we can have really a long discussion and long exchange of ideas. I don't know, Justina, probably we need to go to the end.
Yes. Yes.
Top tip from Professor Driesca. Yes, top tip.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, der Professor Fiore, der Professor Galati, der Professor Drejerska. Thank you for a very important and interesting presentation and a very hot discussion. very hot and very important for our PhD students and for us. It's an honor to work with you. Very honor cooperation with you. Professor Fiore, see you in 2 weeks. And Professor, yeah, Professor Gatti, see you on Sunday.
See you next week, Sunday. Yes,
Sunday, and yeah, please.
We are honored to work with you.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree.
You.
Absolutely.
Because it's a continuous improvement of our life.
Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely.
And Professor Drejerska, I hope that we could see tomorrow.
Yes, even tomorrow.
Okay.
And one thing I would like to also stress, I cannot see the faces of our PhD students, but I would like to wish all of you to have to shape good networks. So good to find, to meet great colleagues on your research track. As you already can see, the relations that we have with our Italian professors and colleagues and friends, I could even say, because this is a great satisfaction also to do the great research, to provide good teaching, but in a friendly, good atmosphere.
Friendly, emotional is important, Nina. Absolutely, guys.
So, I would like to wish all of our PhD students at the beginning of their career to find this, let's say, in this nice and this supportive environment that you will be able to develop your creative and research ideas. Thanks a lot for all of you who are with us today, and see you in next days, weeks, or months.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. See you soon.
See you soon.
See you. Thank you to all the students attending this seminar. Thank you.
Bravo.
Have a good life, guys.
All.
Personal, professional, and research life.
Thank you, and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye.